Today, we're taking a closer look at the iRobot Roomba 105, my first hands-on experience with the latest generation of Roombas. It's about time iRobot brought LiDAR navigation into the mix. Unfortunately, at first glance, it feels like a case of too little too late, but let's dig deeper to understand why. We'll be comparing it against 100 plus robot vacuums we've reviewed here on the channel. Big thanks to iRobot for sending it over. Just to be clear, this video isn't sponsored. As always, you'll get our honest, unfiltered take. We'll let the data speak for itself. If you're interested in checking it out, there's a link in the description. Now let's jump into the unboxing. Inside the box, you'll find the robot vacuum, a charging station with power cord, an extra mop pad, and the usual product literature. Setup is quick and straightforward. Plug in the dock, fill the clean water tank, and let the unit charge. Once that's done, connect it to the iRobot Home app, available on both iOS and Android app stores, and you're all set and ready to go. Now, a quick heads up for those familiar with iRobot's older models like the 600i or J series. There's a new app. The original app you're used to is now called the iRobot Home App Classic. Your account info transfers over, and you still see all of your legacy devices. But here's the catch. You'll need to use the Classic app to control those older models, while the new app handles the newer devices. It's an awkward split, and look, I'm not an app developer, but I have to be honest, the new app isn't intuitive. It doesn't fix the issues from the old version, and in some ways it's actually harder to use. I really don't like it, and for me, it's a major drawback. If you rely heavily on the app for managing your robot, this might be a deal breaker. On the other hand, if you're someone who just sets a cleaning schedule and rarely opens the app again, you could probably get by without too much frustration. Right out of the box, the Roomba 105 required a surprisingly unintuitive firmware update that took nearly an hour to complete. The process was clunky, with little feedback. It often looked like it had frozen, which made troubleshooting confusing. Eventually, it updated successfully, but the experience left a poor first impression. We encountered a similar issue when setting up the Roomba 405, so it seems like this may be a back-end or server-side problem. That said, it's genuinely exciting to finally see a LiDAR module on a Roomba. And as always, iRobot nails the fit and finish. The design has that familiar, clean aesthetic that immediately says Roomba. On a positive note, mapping speed was improved significantly. Initial mapping is now much faster and more in line with the competition. If you've used one of iRobot's older non-LiDAR models, you'll know how painfully slow those could be, so this is a welcomed upgrade. As for cleaning performance, the 105 holds its own. In our high-traffic, pet-filled home, it handled hair crumbs and fine dust with ease. The mop left floors looking fresh, and vacuuming on carpets is clearly one of its strong suits. We did encounter some hair tangles on the brush roller, unsurprisingly given that it lacks a conical roller or active detangling system. To be fair, many premium robot vacuums now come with conical or split rollers designed specifically to reduce hair tangles, something iRobot should seriously consider for future models. Of course, adding that kind of hardware would likely drive up the cost, and the 105 clearly isn't positioned as a premium or mid-range model. Still, with the 105 already falling behind in several key areas, iRobot needs to find ways to differentiate it, and features like this could be an easy win. When it comes to raw power, it's refreshing to finally see iRobot publish suction numbers. The Roomba 105 delivers 7,000 pascals of suction, below our overall average, but that average includes flagship models pushing over 20,000 pascals. So for an entry-level robot vacuum, 7,000 pascals is actually quite solid. In terms of noise, the 105 measured just 2 decibels louder than average. In real-world use, the difference was barely noticeable. During our suction test, it pulled 395 FPM, feet per minute on carpet, slightly below the category average of 420 FPM, but notably the highest we've ever seen from an iRobot model. Ideally, higher is better here, but this still marks a meaningful improvement. Airflow peaked at 0.55 kPa in our in-home test, which is above average and helped contribute to solid real-world results. In fact, the 105 scored a 90 out of 100 in our practical cleaning tests compared to an overall average of 88. So while it's not blowing the competition away on paper, it performs better than expected in real conditions. On the mopping side, things are a bit more basic. It uses a simple drag and wipe system, not nearly as effective as roller or dual spinning mop setups. I often compare it to wiping your floor with a damp paper towel, better than nothing but not as deep cleaning. There's no mop lifting feature either, so if you don't want your carpets getting damp, you'll need to manually remove the mop or create no mop zones. Water control in the app is limited. You can adjust the flow somewhat, but it's not as precise as we'd like. There's also no self-cleaning dock, so you'll need to remove and wash the mop pad yourself. The clean water tank usually lasts a few sessions, but still needs manual refilling. One standout feature, though, is the 105's self-emptying system. It's compact, well-designed, and very convenient. Depending on how often you run it, you might get a couple of months without having to touch the vacuum bag. Definitely a nice quality of life perk at this price point. The iRobot Home app, available on both iOS and Android devices, offers basic control over the Roomba 105, including customizable cleaning settings, smart mapping, and zone-specific targeting. It supports multi-floor mapping, up to 3 maps, no-go zones, and voice control via Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. While the feature set is solid for an entry-level robot vacuum, the user experience leaves a lot to be desired. As mentioned earlier, the app's interface is clunky and unintuitive. Navigating it feels more frustrating than it should be, and for me personally, it's a deal breaker. A better UI could really elevate the overall experience, but as it stands, the app is a major weak point in my opinion. The Roomba 105 currently holds a 3.9 out of 5-star rating, with users genuinely praising it as a budget-friendly robot vacuum and mop that's well-suited for everyday floor maintenance. It performs reliably on dust, debris, and pet hair across a variety of surfaces, and offers useful features like smart mapping, scheduling, and the auto-empty dock. However, it does have some drawbacks, including lack of obstacle avoidance, average mopping, and edge cleaning performance, and the ongoing cost of disposable vacuum bags. Opinions on its value are mixed. Some customers see it as a great deal, while others feel it's overpriced. Additionally, users are divided on noise levels, with some finding it very quiet overall, but others noting that it can be loud during vacuuming and the auto-empty process. As with every model we test, there's always room for improvement, and the Roomba 105 is no exception. For me, the biggest drawback is the app. It's buggy, slow, and frustrating to navigate, which significantly undermines the overall experience. The update process takes far too long, and the station misses a convenient feature, built-in storage for the extra mop pads. Overall, the user interface feels unintuitive and clunky, and addressing these issues would greatly enhance the 105's usability and make it a much more seamless product to own. In summary, the iRobot Roomba 105 brings some welcome updates to iRobot's entry-level lineup, most notably the addition of LiDAR navigation and faster, more efficient mapping. It delivers solid, everyday cleaning performance, handling dust, pet hair, and debris reliably, with convenience features like the auto-empty dock. However, the unintuitive app experience, lack of advanced obstacle avoidance, and basic mopping capabilities hold it back in an increasingly competitive market. While it's one of the most affordable Roombas available and a decent option for budget-conscious iRobot users, it feels more like a cautious evolution than a bold leap forward. With improvements to the app and a few key feature upgrades, the Roomba 105 has the potential to be a much stronger contender in its category.